Have you ever had a relationship growing up or in your dating life where they treat you however they want, but you are still expected to toe the line? Be generous and caring, but don't you dare make a sideways glance at them or they're gone. This is a tough way to learn about relationships, and it's not even correct, but boy, it sure is convenient for them. And the problem is, because we're human, we can't just stop caring. A lot of times we continue to text our ex, try to meet up with them, or on special days, we'll still buy them gifts, like on their birthday. Yeah, I've totally done that. But it's because to us, communicating, doing things for people that we love, it comes so naturally to us. But unfortunately, when the dust settles and some time has passed, we look back and these are the very actions that we feel most embarrassed about. Then we go to YouTube and all the expat coaches are ready to confirm our most illogical fears that the way we are wired to care about people, it's undesirable. The most tragic thing about this whole scenario is when we look back and remember all of the wonderful, caring things we did for our ex, we're the ones who feel stupid. We feel like we weren't good enough, and especially after a discard, we feel worthless. Hello friends, my name is Maria, and I know what it feels like to be discarded by someone that I care about. And it's the most painful feeling to be ignored by the person that you love. But I was lucky enough to have one family member say one sentence to me that began to change my view on everything. And I would like to share that with you today. So if you're like me and you're ready to say, just because I care more doesn't mean I'm worth less, then grab a bottle of nail polish and let's talk. A while back, I offered to be a temporary nanny for my nephew because my older sister was in a bind, I was in between jobs, and I could really use a little extra cash. She got out her checkbook, and when she told me what she was going to pay me, my immediate thought was, oh my gosh, no, that's way too much. Consistently accepting being underpaid is a trauma symptom, by the way, but we'll save that for another video. But I guess the way I thought of it that day was, this was my nephew. I love him. I care about him. I don't need a bunch of money as an incentive to hang around him. And that's exactly what I told my sister. I was like, whoa, you don't need to pay me that much. I care about him. I am happy to watch him. Oh, my sister didn't even respond. She silently continued to scribble out that check. And then she looked up at me and she said, Maria, I know you care. That's why you're worth more. And then she ripped off that check and handed it to me. This was probably one of the most significant moments in my life in gaining clarity when it came to relationships. You are worth more because you care. It's so simple and yet so true. These words struck me hard. I thought about that sentence for a while, and I've always gone back and revisited that moment over the years. Because up until that point, not one person in my life had explained that to me. I look back over my relationships, and not just romantic relationships, but friendships or jobs. Have you ever worked a job with people who do not care? They show up late, they badmouth the boss, they don't bother to come to company meetings, they treat customers like crap, yet they get away with it. And you're just sitting there doing the best you can, but all your good behavior is just expected. Well, the thing about jobs is, unfortunately, oftentimes good employees are taken advantage of when the reality is they should be getting paid more. But it is the same in your dating life. You do care. You have a lot that you bring to the relationship table. You deserve a partner who matches your energy. And while I totally understand, it is natural to want to get your ex back or to regain the attentiveness of someone who has really started taking you for granted. At this point, their contribution of care and energy into the relationship really can't get any lower. And that's why these X-Back videos, they target you. To them and their pocketbooks, you are worth more because you care. It's funny how they tell you that your anxious tendencies are needy and clingy and overwhelming and you need to calm down and play it cool, but yet those videos are designed to keep you anxious because they know if you ever took that advice, they'd go out of business. They need you to care, just like your avoidant, dismissive, breadcrumbing ex still pings you or comes back after years of radio silence. It's certainly not because you're worthless. They keep the door open because they need to know, they need to feel like you still care about them. Caring about other people has a lot of value. And I can't wait for the day that you finally realize that. You see, I know that when you go through a breakup with a dismissive avoidant, your brain does this flip where, especially because of the way that they're acting so cold towards you, you are the one who feels worthless. But if you were to make a comparison list, and you didn't put anybody's name on it, and you didn't even put any attachment styles on it, and you simply made a list of all the things they bring to the table in your life right now, and all of the things you have to bring to the table when it comes to your relationships, which person on the list looks like they're worth less, and which person looks like they're worth a whole lot more? I mean, really, if they were to do a blind study where people could only compare the character traits when it came to relationships, which person do you think would be universally elected more attractive or thought to be worth more when it came to relationships? Someone who is in love and they're willing to stick it out when times get tough, or the person who's scared of hard conversations and runs away from the people in life who love them the most? Gee, tough choice. When I was dating, I wanted things that I wanted, but it was also important to me that the person I was dating, they got things that they wanted too, because that's what you do when you care. And my entire life I was told that men like beauty, men are visual creatures. All right, fair enough. I want a boyfriend, so what do? I put a lot of work into how I look getting ready for my dates. The hair, the makeup, the clothes, 2-3 hours, the whole shebang, only to do this for men who blew me off at the last minute, stood me up, threw me over, and not all the time, but definitely more than I'd like to admit that I stuck around for. The thing that confused me the most about this was the guys I was going out with didn't really seem to care that I had put so much effort into getting ready to go out with them. And I've never been a guy, but I remember I would always think, if I were a guy, I think it would feel really nice to know that a woman cared enough to get made up just for me. And because I was confused, I went on YouTube and accidentally stumbled upon channels I didn't realize were so toxic, telling me that I should never get too made up for dates because it makes me look desperate. It makes me look like I care too much, and it's unattractive. Well, welcome to the other half, where we know attraction is not just about looks. We also have to take care of the inner half. Because getting dressed up and caring about other human beings is not what makes you look desperate. Ignoring your boundaries and letting other people disrespect you while continuing to stick around, that is what makes you look desperate. So wear whatever you want. But I do have a video about how I used to overcompensate for my insecurities by dressing in a way I wasn't super comfortable with. And it kind of goes through little things you can do to reduce your anxiety when you go out on dates. And I'll go ahead and link that video down below. And P.S. I did begin to make it a habit every morning to take a little time out of my day to look nice just for me. Because you see, even after all this time, I really haven't changed. I'm still the kind of person that enjoys getting made up and looking nice for people that I care about. And yeah, I do appreciate it. Thanks for asking. Once you allow good, caring people into your life and you feel the wonderful energy that they bring into your life compared to this under-functioning, underwhelming, disappointing, stonewalling, cold energy that you're getting from maybe people you've dated in your past, you will never want to go back. And that's because people who care are memorable. I wanted to share a comment from one of my viewers. A Bite of Art says, "Something I wish I knew a lot sooner. Our ability to love and care so deeply is a superpower." Yup, and I don't think it's a superpower that's squashed very easily. You might be kind of down and out right now. You might even be afraid that because of what happened to you in this breakup, you're going to become an avoidant. But I am telling you, life springs eternal. It's like that daisy that just keeps popping up through the crack in the sidewalk. And if you're on my channel, yeah, you might be down today, but you are definitely not out. And sure, this breakup might have taught you some better boundaries, but I don't believe for a second that it taught you how to not care about people. Of course you care. We can't help it. We're just wired that way. And I'd rather be someone always willing to take the risk than be someone who just doesn't care, or who has trained myself to believe that I don't care. Someone who is keeping myself from actively enjoying the most precious things about life and relationships. Don't let the world trick you into thinking that you're defective or needy just because you care. That's a surefire way to continue to get into relationships where you feel like you are too much and you're afraid to ask for the things that you really want. And I promise you, the things that you want are perfectly normal. It is not asking for too much that the person who claims they care about you text you back. It is not asking for too much that the person who claims to care about you cares when you are upset. It is not asking for too much that the person who claims to care about you care about important events like your birthday, or that they care about your pets simply because you love and care about them. These things are only annoying or unreasonable to people who are completely self-absorbed. And remember, you never want to gain these things by nagging at people to give them to you. You want to lean back and allow other people to show you that they are willing to put in just as much care and energy as you are. When they go out on dates with you, they do not see you as worthless. In fact, when they take you out to that little Italian restaurant that you've always wanted to go to, they already know that you are worth one pretty penny. If this video helped you, so will this one. My name is Maria Adriana. You did not have to live my life, but I certainly hope you can learn something from it. As always, thank you for visiting. The other